tribe, let's get into the push-pull legs training split. So this is a great training split for people who want to get in the gym and train consistently, but only have 3 days to dedicate to doing so. This is also a great training split for athletes, those who play another sport, maybe basketball, football, baseball, hockey, MMA, whatever the case is, right? And then you have the people who want to get into powerlifting and power building and want to maximize recovery as well while being a natural lifter. So if this fits you, if you fit that profile, you're definitely going to want to look at the push-pull legs training routine or training split as a definite option. Now the push-pull legs training split is comprised of 3 main days, right? You got your push day, your pull day, and your leg day, right? So the push day is where you train all the muscles and movement patterns that produce pushing movements. So this is going to be push-ups, bench press, overhead press, dips, and abs. Basically all of the upper body muscles that are on the anterior portion of the body, aside from the triceps, right? So the muscles on push day that you're going to be targeting are the front delt, the medial delts, the triceps, the pecs, and the abs. The pull day is where you train all of the muscles that produce the pulling movements, pretty much the opposite of push day. So these are going to be exercises like rowing, lat pull downs, pull-ups, maybe even deadlifts, right? And this is where you're going to be training your rear delts, a little bit of your medial delts, your biceps, your lats, your trapezius, and your spinal erectors. A lot of different movements there. Pretty much all of the muscles that are on the back, right? The posterior upper body portion of the body, aside from the biceps. And last but not least, we have leg day. So leg day is basically where you train all of the muscles and movements that occur from the waist down. So this is going to be squats, deadlifts, lunges, hip bridges, lateral lunges, all of those type of movements, calf raises, leg curls, you name it. All of that type of stuff is going to be done on leg day. Now, even though it's called push-pull legs, the best order that I find to do it in is legs, push, pull. And the reason for this is because you want to prioritize the most difficult stuff first. And typically, people have a harder time with training legs because legs is a much bigger muscle group, right? And a lot of the lower body exercises that you have to do during leg day require a lot of torso stabilization. So that's going to be a lot of core work as well if you're doing back squats, front squats, deadlifts, lunges, and different things like that. It just requires way more energy. So if you can come into the gym on day 1 of your week and bang out that lower body day, you're going to be a lot better off doing that. Now, the strategy behind ending your training week with pulling is because all of those pulling exercises is going to help to improve your posture, and you're going to carry that improved posture throughout the rest of your week. So if you structure your training days Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you are going to recover with that improved posture through Saturday and Sunday. And then when you get back in the gym on Monday, that improved posture is going to carry over to your lower body training day. So this is going to improve your squatting and your deadlifting and all of those other exercises that require an upright torso or a stable torso at least. So when you're scheduling out your training week, you really want to pay attention to your recovery. You really want to optimize and program for recovery. So for instance, you may want to do a Monday, Wednesday, and a Friday if you're doing a 3-day split, right? So let's say Monday, you get into the gym and you give 100% in the gym. You have a great workout. You're on fire. You hit the gym strong on Monday. Now, rather than go right back in there on Tuesday and give that high intensity, top level 100% again, which for a lot of people is very hard to do, you may want to take that rest day on Tuesday to recover from Monday, and then get back there on Wednesday and hit it with the same level of intensity that you did on Monday, right? And then on Thursday, you want to take that rest day the same way you did on Tuesday, so that on Friday, you can hit that max level effort on Friday into your training, right? With the level, and when I say intensity, I mean mental focus as well as physical commitment to the workout. See what I'm saying? So a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the rest of the week may not really be so optimal, right? You can try it if you want, if your schedule forces you to do that, but it's not optimal. You want to have that day in between each training session so that you can get the maximum amount of recovery that you can and get the maximum amount of efficiency in the training day. All right, now staying on the topic of recovery, there's a few other things that you want to consider. You want to think about how long your training sessions are going to be and how many exercises you're going to be doing on a training session. So let's start with duration. Now, typically, your workouts are going to be in between 30 to 60 minutes. Now, the sweet spot is 45 minutes to 60 minutes. Now, a lot of people are strapped for time these days, right, with the busy schedules and stuff. So you may have to cut some things out in order to fit all your primary work into that 30-minute window. But ideally, you're looking at 45 to 60 minutes. Now, as far as how many exercises you're doing, that's going to work out to be around 5 to 8. And this is where you're not doing too much, but you're just doing the right amount. But you want to factor in what your goals are, right? Because some people, you may just want to develop all of your musculature equally. And then others, maybe you have things that are smaller and you want to focus on more. Let's say shoulders, right? Fellas, when you want to be a little bit more broad and wider across the top to get that X frame, you may want to focus on rounding out and increasing the size of your shoulders. So let's say in a given training day for a push day, you want to do 3 shoulder exercises, which would be overhead press, single arm overhead press, and let's say a medial delt raise. Then for the 4th exercise, bench press or some type of chest pressing exercise. Then after that, a tricep isolation exercise, and then 1 to 2 core exercises. You see how that works out? So that's just an example. And that fits in between that 5 to 8 exercise range. So for you power lifters out there who want to get on a solid 3 days of training, the push-pull split is for you, right? Because now you have 3 days to allocate towards training one of the big 3 lifts in powerlifting. And those big 3 lifts are going to be the deadlift, the bench press, and the squat. So day 1, you'd be hitting your deadlift and all the accessory exercises for your deadlift. Then day 2 is bench press, hitting the bench press and all the accessory exercises for that. And then the 3rd day would be the squat day, where maybe you're doing a barbell back squat or a barbell front squat and doing all of the assistance exercises for that lift. Now, when talking about cardio, we want to look at cardio from more of an athletic point of view. We want to look at cardio as more so cardio conditioning. We want to improve our functionality and athleticism when we're doing our cardio. So our cardio conditioning is going to be things like sprinting, sled pushing, sled pulling, farmer's carries, speed rowing for time, things like that, battle ropes, right? Really aggressive, intense exercises where you go all out for a matter of, let's say, 10 to 15 seconds, right? When you sprint and you run as fast as you can in a straight line, you got about a good 10 seconds before you just run out of performance and slow down even when you don't want to. And you got to slow down and stop, right? Because it's an anaerobic activity. You're not really breathing so well during these exercises, but they're really intense. So you can get this level of intensity and get this kind of workout in a matter of 4 to 8 minutes, or you can do some mediocre, unnecessarily long cardio where you're running at a really slow pace on a treadmill for 30 minutes to an hour, which is not a good use of your time and it's really brutal on your joints. So let's go the intense route. Let's do the sled pulling, let's do the battle roping, let's do the sprinting. You can do that on your training days or off of your training days, either or. But if you're going to do it on your training days, make sure that you're not going past that 60-minute mark, or at least not too far beyond that 60-minute mark in your training sessions. You don't want your training sessions to be overly long. We want to be very deliberate about what we choose to do on our training days. So we're going to keep our time frame and we're going to keep the intensity high in everything that we do.